Greetings to all our beautiful listeners. Welcome to the Empowerment Podcast. Speaking, it is Lunga. Mr. Arthur Kumalo. Hope we are having a great day, having a great time. Um, Today, this is going to be a special episode because we'll be shining the light on Ubuntu NPO and we'll be talking with the founder, Amkela Makhanya. But before we go to her, don't forget to like our social pages on all our social platforms. We are available on Instagram, Twitter, and on Facebook as Empowerment Podcast. Also, don't forget that we are available on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We are hoping to have more people over there because we have a lot of content planned for you, and I hope you definitely fell in love with it. Thank you so much for continuous support and for continuing to tune into the Empowerment Podcast. Yesterday I was checking our stats; we just reached 13,000, so that's great. I hope. So continue spreading the word, continue listening to us, sharing the podcast on all your social platform. It helps us a lot. Yes, without any further ado, let me just go straight to introducing and welcoming our guest. As I said, we'll be shining the light on Ubuntu NPO, and we'll be talking to the founder herself, Amkela Makhanya. So, Amkela, welcome to the Empowerment Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
How have you been?
I've been great. I've been wonderful.
Thank you so much for that and for letting us know of how you're doing. Okay, let's go to our questions that we have for you today. Before we go into talking about the NPO you're running, I think it's very much important we get to know you first and get to know why you do what you do. But before we go there, what I'd like to know is, tell us more about yourself and what do you remember about yourself growing up?
So as mentioned, my name is Amkela Makhanya. I'm from Durban. I reside in Amanzimtoti. I've had a lovely journey in life. I've been very much privileged to live a comfortable life with both parents in a very loving family from both families. My mom's side of the family and my dad's side of the family.
Wow.
I'm the only child, but I didn't feel like an only child while growing up because I was into sports. I always tell my family and friends, especially my friends, I always say, Guti, tennis is like a rite of passage in my family. Everybody had to play tennis. And it was up to you whether you want to continue playing league or you want to play social. I have a cousin of mine that continued playing league and he's currently overseas playing first division. So first division is like the highest level of professionalism in tennis. So I ended up playing league, but I ended in 2017 playing league, and now I just play socially. But besides that, I only feel being an only child managing gimdala. There are some things that I want to talk about that I can't really communicate with, abantu abadala. I would love to speak to somebody that's my age. And I don't have somebody that's my age in my household.
Yeah.
But God has blessed me with cousins, and I'm very close with my cousins. So yeah, I do feel like an only child now, but at the same time, I also don't feel it. In terms of primary school, I did my education at Auckland Park. Then I went to Durban Girls College for high school. Then I went to Monash, South Africa for university. But then I transferred to Varsity College in 2018. And then I just continued with my degree at Varsity College. I studied English and Communication Science, which landed me in the industry of marketing and communications. I wanted to be a journalist, but I received work experience at the Durban Chamber of Commerce, and it made me fall in love with marketing and corporate communication. So that's where I am professionally. But I have this baby called Ubuntu. Um, Community advocacy is a seed that was planted by Umkhulwami, both my grandfathers from my mom's side and my dad's side. My mom always shares Utu Kulbaba would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and he would build, coffins made out of wood for umpagati because people couldn't afford to buy ipogis lokungcwaba. And ikhaya elikhulu nje was ikhaya for everybody. He was a counselor in his area, so he not only did he open up his home, he also did things to give back to the community. And then from my dad's side of the family, Ubab Desmond, Mkul Desmond, he was a mover and a shaker, that one. He actually won a Living Legend award a few years ago before he passed on, because he valued history and he valued the area of Adams, Wakulela Adams, Adams Mission in the South Coast. And he made it his mission to uplift the area that he lived in. So by engaging with abantu abathile ukuthi kuba khona amanzi endaweni, kuba khona ugesi endaweni, kuba khona i-library, kuba khona ama-students afunda ngeposi. He did a lot to ensure that his community is well looked after, most importantly educated, most importantly also playing sports. Tennis back in the day was a very well-known sport at Adams. There's a lot of people that have succeeded through sports due to my grandfather. So I guess I took the baton from both my families, and I just germinated the seed, I guess, and I started my own NPO called Ubuntu. We've been running for the past 5 years, and it's been a very impactful journey. We are driven by passion, and
wow, I'm seeing that. So this thing of being a philanthropist, it's genetic for you. It runs in the family. It's not something that just starts with you. It's something that is in you, if we may put it. So wow, that's beautiful to hear and to know. So you have already started, but tell us more about Ubuntu. What we are interested to know is how it started and why you started it.
So Ubuntu started in 2019. And the reason why we started it was because we saw a gap within the community, within schools, should I say. My aunts and my father are principals in underprivileged schools, and there are a lot of resources that they are missing. And I took it upon myself with my friends that no, actually, let us try and see how we can fill this gap and bridge the gap, not only in the schools that we know, but that are surrounding the areas that we're in. So I always say that charity begins at home. So we started off with schools that my family members are headmasters of. Same with my volunteers. We have a database of 48 volunteers, and some of them, their parents are headmasters and teachers. So that's what I mean by saying that charity begins at home, where we assist these schools by providing resources that they need. So at the beginning of each year, we ask for a list of things that the schools need, and then we will pick and choose which items that we can deliver on based on the connections and the resources that we have. So for example, One of the schools has asked us to renovate their library. On a daily basis, we're asked to deliver water. We started off with a pad drive. One of our schools asked for pads, and we weren't aware that sanitary pads are such a big issue that girls actually missed 5 to 7 days of school just because they don't have a sanitary pad due to feasibility. They can't afford one. And that really hurt me personally at a personal level. And I've made it my mission in life that we're going to try our very best to not have a girl child miss school. And in order for us to do that, we need to engage with the community and see how we can help and get as many pads as possible. So I remember when I first started the pad drives, we collected like 200 pads in 1 week and we donated them. And then we went on, the numbers started increasing. We started donating 1,000 pads, then 1.5 pads. Now we're sitting at donating 4,000 pads, and we donate to 6 schools, like Tegwin.
Wow.
And through the grace of God, late last year, we were able to make connection with an organization based in the USA, the United States. This girl, the leader of this organization, she's also very passionate about ending period poverty. And for her, she ends it in prison. She believes that the women in prison are already being punished by them being removed out of society. But there's no need for them to be punished even more by not getting basic feminine care.
Okay.
So she believes that in the USA, feminine products such as sanitary pads should be given to women in prison for free of charge. So that is the mission that she's fighting, which is different. And she's actually trying to get it into the law. Like, that's how intense it is for her. She wants to get it into the legislature of the USA. At the moment, she's doing it in her state. But with us engaging with her, she said that she's going to donate 11,000 pads to
that's
us.
A lot.
So we are expecting that shipment. We are very much excited. I always pinch myself, and I'm always thinking, oh my gosh, just from us, and within these 5 years, from us just donating 200 pads, we were just happy with donating 4,000 pads. But now we more than doubled the amount. We're sitting at 11,000 pads that we're going to be donating within this year and the years to come. And maybe one day we're going to donate more, but we're just happy about keeping a girl child in school.
I'd like to ask you something. I know maybe this is out of the set of questions that we have had, but I'm sure we're going to be able to answer this, because it's an answer that only a person who has done or who's doing the work who can answer. How important has it been for you to be persistent with what you're doing? Because I'm sure a lot of people, whenever they hear such things, and even your storyline, even your background, some might think she's able to do it because maybe she comes from a family that supports her, or maybe from a family that is well off, It's easy for people to assume so. And maybe whenever we see such organization as yours, we think it's possible. Maybe they have a financial backup or a sponsor somewhere. But how has it been for you to drive and to be persistent and to stick to the vision and to the goal? Because sometimes, these sponsors or the people who want to help, they may help, but at some point they have their own agendas for helping. But I'm not there. But I just want to know what has kept you going, even when, you find a sponsor. Sometimes a sponsor might just take it to the other side of your vision. How do you go about doing that, and how do you tackle such things, if it ever happened?
I think I'm just very fortunate to have supportive parents, supportive family, supportive friends, and the Durban community at large. And I think it's also the grace of God, because whenever I knock on a door, it's automatically opened. I've never engaged in a conversation where I'm asking for help and I'm not granted that help. I think people are very kind, people are very caring, and people see the need of giving back. Whenever I share stories of why we're doing what we're doing, because we want to uplift umphakathi, people are moved. People want to be part of that story and also contribute in one way or another. When it comes to financial support, it started off with myself and my parents and my family. But over the years, we are trying to sharpen our professional side and become more relevant to the business market by starting to engage with different corporates, starting to have particular stakeholders that are going to fund us. And we do have some, and the ones that we have been keeping us going. And we are currently working on getting more partners and stakeholders. But at a personal capacity, I think when it comes to being a social entrepreneur, it's something that needs to come within you. It's very important for you to be passionate about it, because there are times where I feel like, you know what, I'm done. Like, I'm done. This is too much for me. Like, I'm done, you know? It does get a bit stressful. But then, like, you know, I wake up the next day and I'm just like, actually, no, I'm not done. Like, there's so much that I still need to do. There's no way that I can be done. What do you mean I'm done? I'm Amkela, you know? So I'm very much passionate about assisting the community. I've never engaged with people that have another agenda. That's why I also said that it's through the grace of God, because God has given me people that just want to ensure that Ubuntu continues, Ubuntu's doors are open, and Ubuntu grows, you know? I've never engaged with people that take us otherwise or want to do otherwise. We've always just been in a positive light, internally and externally. And
good for you, man. Hey, is yakhala. It's a
not easy. It's definitely not easy.
It's a jungle.
But yeah, it's just a journey that you just need to partake in.
Hey, for me, I'm just happy that there are people who are still kind out there, who are still willing to see a good and authentic initiative thrive, because we are living in a world of I think we are at a point whereby if I do something for you, it's a society where I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of world. And I know people can take what I'm saying to the extremes, but all I'm saying is that whenever you're doing something for another person in our days, normally people expect something in return. It's we are far away off. Even in the word as the name of your organization, Ubuntu, we are far from that in these days and time. And you might even think we are no longer Africans. We are no longer the people that we are, let alone being African, as if we are the only kind people. Being people in general, you know, it's as if we are far away from them. So seeing even organizations such as yours taking care and being mindful of the next person, a child at school, you know, a lady, you know, who's going through her periods, you know, being mindful of them and not looking at yourself as Amkela and what you have achieved and what you can achieve for yourself and gain for your own self, but be mindful of another person. and reaching out to them and trying to help and getting all your connection to help a stranger, a total stranger. I think that is something that is very big, and we need really to shine a light to such things as the society and make such things known and celebrate such good things that are happening so that even the next person can be inspired to do so in the next. But hey, what can we say? So moving on with our question, I'd like to know how important it is for you to help a growing child at school, because whenever I'm hearing you as we are talking, you are talking more about schools. So I guess Ubuntu NPO works mostly with schools. So how important it is for you to help a growing child at school, and how much of an impact are you seeing your organization doing in the near future?
It's very important for us to engage with schools because that's where our future leaders are within the schools, whether it's a primary school, whether it's a high school. So in terms of impact, we have motivational talks. We started engaging with motivational talks with an organization that's based in Johannesburg. It's called Sister Seminar Foundation. And they tackle issues such as teenage pregnancy, such as drug abuse, and just raising awareness about the importance of education. And this year, they asked us to collaborate with them for these motivational talks. And we agreed because we truly do believe that as much as we are donating sanitary pads or donating water or donating toilet seats, whatever that the schools that we support have asked for. But it's important for us to engage in a conversation and be like, actually, young Black African child, this is what you need to know. And in order for you to grow, you need to know 1, 2, and 3. And in order for you to achieve 1, 2, and 3, you need to be educated. You need to be educated. So we try our best to make an impact through raising awareness about the importance of education. And we are currently planning more motivational talks in Johannesburg, and hopefully they're going to filter down and come to Durban, to our adopted schools here, like Tegwin. So yeah, wait, what was the second part of the question?
How much of an impact have you done?
So, like I said, our impact is more regarding resources, like tangible resources.
Okay.
In terms of the impact regarding school kids and their individual journeys, we cannot measure that for now. However, we are in the pipelines of wanting to create a connection between a matriculant, so somebody that has matriculated, and a tertiary education. So for the students that cannot afford tertiary education or that do not be granted NSFAS, what happens to them? Where do they go? We currently in the pipelines trying to figure that out and see how we can assist there. I think you can ask me this question again maybe next year or in 2 years once we've figured out how can we assist a matric learner to be part of a tertiary education and also get a job. So I think that particular project will be one student at a time, considering resources, but hopefully we'll be able to help everybody at the end of the day.
Yeah, wow. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, and I just have to say you are doing a great job. With the people obviously working with you, and even the people you have partnered with. I think what you're doing is really, really great, and it's needed in our generation and time, you know. And I really hope that Ubuntu goes far and beyond your wildest imagination. We are now about to close up, but before I let you go, I would like to give you an opportunity to do your closing remarks, and if you would like people to get in touch with you regarding anything, how they can sponsor or how they could get sponsorship from you, or how can they invite you to their schools. You could also share your details if you're comfortable with that. But yeah, over to you with your closing remarks.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you for this opportunity for being featured in the Empowerment Podcast. Thank you to my family, my friends, and the Durban community at large for your support. I don't think I would be where I am if it wasn't for you. I don't think Ubuntu would be where it's at if it wasn't for you. We truly are practicing and living the philosophy of Ubuntu, which is umuntu ngobuntu ngabantu, meaning I am because you are because I am. Truly, 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 izandla ziyagezana. And I'm grateful, and I'll forever be grateful. Regarding how people can get in touch, they can email us. Our email address is ubuntunpo@outlook.com, or they can reach out to us on Instagram. All of our social media platforms have the same handle, which is @_ubuntunpo. Or they can reach out to me personally. My number is 069 317 7948. Yeah.
Thank you so much for making time to be with us. And we as the Empowerment Podcast wish you all the best in whatever you're planning, and let us know so that we could come along with you some of the schools you're visiting, and so that we could be part of the great work you're doing. I'm sure my team and I would love that. All the best, and thank you so much to all our listeners who have been listening to this episodes. We love you, and continue to also supporting us. We appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Empowerment Podcast. Inspire, equip, and empower.